How do you play rim shots with your arms flying around your head? It's a good question. So a week or so ago, I posted a video about control. As a result of that video, someone emailed me and specifically asked about rim shots. They wanted to know how I managed to play rim shots with my arms flying around my head. It's a great question, and it's a detail that a lot of people likely don't think about. Now, for those of you that aren't drummers, a rim shot is simply when you hit the drum head and the rim of the drum at the same time. Most often, it's usually on the snare drum. Not only is the drum louder with the rim shot, but it also has a different character. It has a little more bite to it. Because of that, a lot of drummers play rim shots on the snare drum, mostly on 2 and 4 or part of the main groove. It's a great technique, and like most young drummers, I started playing rim shots almost immediately after I started playing drums. Why? Well, because it made the drum louder. And as we all know, a loud snare drum makes everyone on stage happy. But back to the original question. How do I manage to play rim shots with my arms flying around my head? And the answer is, I don't play rim shots. Now, before you guys go nuts, let me try and explain this. I do play rim shots, but never on 2 and 4. I only use them in fills or for accents, or to intentionally produce a different sound. Now, try and hang in there with me for a moment or two before heading straight to the comments section. In no way am I implying that rim shots are bad or that you shouldn't play them. As I mentioned, I played rim shots for half of my career. However, once I started swatting flies, I had to change things. At some point, I realized there was just no way I could get back into position to land a quality rim shot on every hit from way back here. Perhaps you can, and if so, that's great, but I couldn't do it. I could always hit the rim shot. That wasn't the issue, but the quality would suffer. Again, with my arms coming in hot from all directions, it made it nearly impossible to hit a perfect rim shot every time. I'd listen back to board tapes, and if I soloed up the drums, I could hear that little inconsistency in sound. Perhaps we're only talking about that much, but 99% is still 1% shy of 100%. Now, perhaps I'm too extreme. We all know I can be guilty of that. But I grew up on drummers like Scott Travis, Tommy Aldridge, and Dean Castronova. Those guys landed every single hit. They sounded almost machine-like. So my goal was always to play with precision and consistency. I may look like a lunatic, but I've never lost that desire to sound like Scott Travis. I'm still working on that one. By the way, I stole that clip from my buddy Chris Williams, who happens to be the drummer for Accept, and a rather snazzy drummer as well. However, that need to hear a near-perfect sound has never left. I try and make every hit sound exactly like the previous hit. So for me, removing rim shots helped produce a more consistent tone. And it was tough. It was something I had to force myself to unlearn. Now, I recognize that there's an argument to be made by saying if you didn't play drums like a wind-up toy, it might be a little bit easier. Now, I'm going to say this again, and I can't stress it enough. In no way am I implying that rim shots are bad, and I'm certainly not saying you shouldn't play them. I'm just trying to share some of the struggles I've had over the years to develop this thing that I'm sort of known for. Perhaps you're able to go bonkers and land a good one on every hit. If so, that's great. I'm just trying to be transparent by saying, yeah, that's something I couldn't do. So I had to take a different approach. So for me, removing rim shots helped produce a more consistent tone. That doesn't mean I'm right, and it doesn't mean there's not a better way of doing things, or even a different way of doing the same thing. I'm just sharing some of the struggles I've had over the years. Some of you guys have had some really good questions, so I'm just trying my best to answer some of them and share what's worked. They're not rules, they're just ideas. If some of them work for you, that's great. If not, then release them like a fart in the wind. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Remember, rim shots are great. Just because I couldn't pull it off while going bonkers doesn't mean you can't. It just means I suck. And as always, if you haven't already subscribed, well, I wouldn't bother. However, if you've enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like. It helps me out. And for those interested in merchandise, please visit store.themaddrummer.com. Go ahead and buy a shirt. I dare you. Thanks for watching. It's a great question, and it's a detail that a lot of... Because of that, a lot of drummers play rim shots on the snare drum, mostly on the 2 and the 4. Shit. Not only is the drum louder with a rim shot, but it also has a different character. It has a little... It's a great technique, and like most drummer... Now, before you guys go nuts, let me try and explain this. I do play rim shots, but never on 2 and 4. I only use them... Shit. By the way, I stole that clip from my buddy Chris Williams, who happens to be the drummer for Accept. I spit. I could hear that little inconsistency in sound. Perhaps we're only... Shit. Now, I'm going to say this again, and I can't stress it enough, that I've forgotten what I'm supposed to say next. So for me, removing rim shots help produce a brr, brr. However, if you've enjoyed the video, maybe give it a like. It helps me out. More quicker. Get it more quicker together. At some point, I realized, realized you're bad at YouTube. That's what you realized.